أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today I stand here most importantly on behalf of my son. My name is Mustafa Mohamed Hussain, by the way, and my child that I'm going to talk about today is Jameel Mohamed Hussain, the 8-year-old little boy that you guys usually see sitting right at the back there. Now, Jameel's journey and his challenges started when he was 3 months old. He was then diagnosed with a condition called osteopetrosis. By the age of 3 months, he had already lost his vision. That's how we found out about his condition. And he was required to go through a bone marrow transplant for that, which required intensive 14-day chemotherapy to completely kill his bone marrow and then put a new marrow into him. So Jameel, alhamdulillah, went through that the first time, but then after 2.5 years, his bone marrow transplant failed. So then he had to go through the same process again, all over when he was about 3.5, 4 years old. And after going through that bone marrow transplant for the second time and a lot of complications and delays that he went through, the delays in schooling, feeding, and many other aspects that he went through, alhamdulillah, now all those challenges, the medical challenges, are behind us. But now Jameel is left with two major challenges, which are visual impairment. I call it total darkness because he's got nothing. And autism, which we later found out about 2 years ago. So Jameel is battling with these two challenges, and he's got, throughout his day, between myself and his mother, we have to do most of the things for him. Slowly and gradually, he's growing and he's learning to pick up some of the things that we do without even thinking. But one of his challenges that I want to share with you guys today is eating food, which we all love to do. Now for Jameel, eating food is a major challenge. So for the next 3 minutes, I want to put you guys in Jameel's shoes. So please, can you think for the next 3 minutes as a blind person? So Jameel, of course, cannot hold his spoon like this. He holds it like that because he can't hold a pencil. He uses braille, so he uses that. So he holds the spoon like that, and he eats in a bowl because he can't eat in a plate. For a blind person, a plate ends and your food goes out straight. So he eats in a bowl. So when Jameel's eating food, imagine yourself with your eyes shut, that you don't know what's in that bowl. So his mom literally goes through the description. Let's say, for example, his mom says, you've got rice and potato in the bowl. I've already chopped the potato for you. So Bismillah and start eating. So he picks up the spoon. He puts the food in his mouth. And because of the delays due to his transplant and of course his visual impairment and his autism together, Jameel cannot chew properly, so the way he chews is with his tongue and the top teeth rather than the two teeth together. So a bowl of food about this big, which would take a child sitting in front of me here about 3 to 5 minutes, takes him about 45 to 50 minutes to eat because he can't chew. So number one, he can't see the food that's in front of him. Number two, he can't chew. Number three, in his 8 years of life, he's never expressed that he can smell anything good or bad. So I don't know whether that's to do with his chemotherapy and the transplant or his autism, but he's never expressed that he can smell. So I'm assuming that he can't smell the food. Going to number four, once he's gone through the first 2, 3, 4th spoon, now in his bowl, he's dug a hole in his food. So now when he picks up the food, there is nothing coming because there is a hole. All the food is around the bowl. So for a blind person to know that there is something in your spoon, you touch it. But because Jameel's autistic and his fingers are very sensory because of him reading the braille. He doesn't like to touch his food. He will have it in his mouth and he will eat it, though he's very limited with the foods that he will eat. But he will not touch the food. So after 15 minutes of him eating, so he can't see the food, he can't smell it, he can't chew it properly, and now he doesn't even want to touch it anymore. So mom gives up and mom says, come on, I will feed you, otherwise we are going to be here all day. So this is a small snippet of Jameel's life and a challenge that he goes through, and that's just feeding. I mean, you go through changing clothes, walking from one place to another. I mean, let's say, for example, if I was standing here and Jameel was on the other side of the room and I was to call him, Jameel would literally follow that wall all the way around to come to me rather than walk in a straight line to me. Though he could hear me, he doesn't know what's there in the middle, so he needs something to follow. So he would walk all the way around the room and come to me. But alhamdulillah, this is Jameel's life. But every time I see these challenges of Jameel, it reminds me that how thankful we should be to Allah, that in this little space of ours, Allah has put so much functions that, a small thing like eating food that we enjoy a lot, which probably he doesn't enjoy, he has to eat because he has to grow and mom force feeds him. But that's Jameel. Most importantly, what I wanted to say here today is, alhamdulillah, the Jamaat is doing a lot for these children, and I have recognized this in the last year when Jameel took part in the Quran competition. And since that day, I've noticed when I came to mosque this Muharram, just because people knew Jameel, whether at a personal level or they had seen him on TV, but because they had noticed Jameel, so many people were coming to me, Dad, can I hold Jameel's bag for you? Or I have seen people push the shoes aside so Jameel can actually walk in. And people have come and said salams. So platforms like this give all children voice, disabled or not, adults, they give a voice. And I would urge that people come and participate and make themselves known. And this is the way forward for all disabled children or adults to get known in the community, because I know there is a lot of good in this community. My point of view previous to that Quran competition may have been different, but definitely I have seen in the past year that there is a lot of good in this community. I think I've spoken enough for today. Thank you very much. Wassalam.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها والنفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. صدق الله العلي العظيم.